J Dub White, Alabama Auburn show. What's up? What are you doing, buddy?
Just representing a little fully loaded. Thank you.
I left my shirt at the office, but I'm representing Jesus took naps.
He
Little Mark,
did.
little Mark IV, he took naps, on a boat.
But somebody else is going to be wearing one of these amazingly soft, fully loaded T-shirts because we're getting the opportunity to win one today.
You gonna
We're
get?
going to give one away.
Do I look thick? Do I look fat or thick?
You look muscular as a mug. Just feisty.
Thank you. Thank
Wait,
you.
no, right there you look like Chris Hodge. That's a nice hat you got on, by the way.
Kapow, baby. I could let y'all register to win one of them, but I don't want to.
Man, that coffee's sitting next level right now.
That's that nice license plate hat, son. Look at that.
I know. My son has mine. He stole it.
Matter of fact, his selfie in that hat that he sent to you was priceless.
Yeah, he said free advertisement, Dad.
Yeah. He's advertising Kapow at JSU. But what's so funny to me, this is hilarious, is you said, man, I can't find my hat. And you said this for like a week. I don't know where my hat is. I'm like, dude, let's wear them to the game. You said, I don't know where it is. Next thing you know, hey, Dad.
Yeah. You know what my baby girl's doing today?
What's she doing?
Substitute teaching for the first time.
Where's she at? Is she at the high school, middle school?
High school, subbing for Miss Fountain. So I get a call early this morning from Blake Hudson. And I'm like, he must have watched our show because he's asking for money for track. He didn't. He said, guess who I'm looking at? I said, I'm not sure. He said, she claims to be your daughter. I said, careful, she'll cut you.
Did you almost lose it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. He's like, man, he's right across the hall, so he'll be making sure everything goes well for her. So it's good to know that he's taking up for her. But in a fight, I'm picking Abby over Blake Hudson anytime.
He'll run screaming like a little baby to Abby, asking her to protect him.
Yeah, but he'll be talking the whole time. He won't shut up.
Oh yeah, he'll talk, but he'll lean out from behind her and say something.
That's fair. Man,
I'm giving
Auburn, Alabama.
Look here.
Who's winning?
I'm giving you all a preview. That way I don't get copyrighted of the New York Yankee Atlanta Braves spring training game. And the score is zip to zip right now. The top of the yeah, something like that.
So here's what I'll say. I mean, there is no question my allegiance as a New York Yankee baseball fan for generations, right? It's my team, always has been, always will be. But there's certain players I enjoy watching from other teams, right? Charlie Morton is one of those players. He's got to be 40, 41 now, something like that. He's throwing, mid to high 90s, 96, 97. He touched 97 now and then. He reinvented himself, right? He's reinvented himself. He did it with diet and exercise and training more this season. He said his arm feels stronger than ever. He just keeps getting better. I appreciate what he does. I like watching him.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. Shoot, as a Braves fan, what the heck?
I take him.
Yeah, how can I not be excited? I mean, you got the quad father going to be starting for you on the opening day on the 28th, and then you got Charlie in a rotation. I think, what is it, about third or fourth in a rotation?
He's 3, I think.
3. There's a 5-man rotation right now, right?
Yeah.
So, barring no injuries, but I mean, he's a rubber arm or something. I don't know what he's doing. How did he gain the velocity? I know it's an Alabama Auburn show, but he's up 4 miles.
He was always low 90s, but again, his legs got a little bigger as a pitcher. Legs drive. Look at Roger Clemens, right? Doesn't always have to be like that. Pedro Martinez didn't have big legs and he threw hard. It was different, but Morton is just went from a thrower to a pitcher.
Yeah, I think so too.
In my opinion,
Pedro.
The Yankees need some rotational help, man.
Oh yeah, there's no question. Yeah,
Cole's going to be out a couple months.
how did Pedro contort his body like he did?
He's an Auburn fan, and they're just good at it.
Well,
That's that same look. That's the same look from Paige Karonic today. We saw. Can't talk about. Okay.
My
Hey,
man,
the floor is yours, Jeff. Let's talk. I'll let you open with a little University of Alabama. She made you use that cup, didn't she?
yeah, she's gonna be watching it later. Make sure you use something. So this is better than even an Alabama, uh, whatever this is. Lord, here we go.
That's a great cup right here, by the way. Incredible cup.
Dodge. See if you can go see where I'm going. Dodge County High School in Eastern Georgia. The big 4-star, 6'1", 200-pound athlete decided yesterday that he is going to the University of Alabama. He's the 48th nationally ranked player and the 9th ranked player in the state of Georgia. The big boy, the big Duke, Darryl Duke Johnson, committed to Alabama yesterday. And I think that's a big pickup. What do you think about that? I know
Big
you.
pickup, bro. He is nasty. Bro is nasty. Um, no joke, bro. No joke.
I watched when he was committed yesterday, and it was live. It was on a podcast, and I won't. I'll say it, it's 24/7,
Yeah.
24/7. One of your favorites. He did it live on 24/7 yesterday, just exclusively for him. And I thought that's pretty cool, man. That's really cool. Seems to be a nice kid, sweet boy. Got his dreads like he like it on top of his head, looking like a pile of poo poo out there. Like Reggie in the comedy and all that kind of stuff. But when he committed, I just man, I thought he was going to Florida State.
Most people did.
That's where I thought he was going. So anyway, when he committed, he well, I got a Cat Williams skit for you about the Duke, Darryl Johnson, but I'm gonna let that lie for a little while, and I won't talk about that one anymore. um, so you got DeBoer's doing work, right? I mean, he's out there, he's making some waves and doing some things that people literally said he's not going to be able to do, right? He's got 6 huge commits for the class of 2025. I mean, big time guys. He's out there doing work, man. And you said the guy's going to do it. He's going to get it done. You said it from day one when I said, Jerry, how is he going to recruit in the SEC for Alabama? And he said, you said, Jeff, Alabama, first of all, recruits itself, right?
Does.
The legacy, the history, the winning tradition, producing the NFL factory that they are, that's going to be the number one thing for DeBoer to just kind of hang his hat on. But he surrounded himself with some SEC guys, and he's figured out a way to do it right. And the guy's likable, man. I mean, he's not the existential doucherette as we're used to, right? I mean, he's different. He's brought in and implemented, as you said last week, a no cursing policy at the university for his football program. That's different. That's something we've never seen before. I mean, you go all the way back to the Bear. The Bear had some words, and he would say. Matter of fact, I think he invented curse words. I think. So, I mean, we're at a different place in at Alabama, and I think we ought to love that. I mean, if we're all about building character and like Saban has been touting at the Senate hearing committees, these hearings, building character. I think that's what DeBoer is at least trying to do at Alabama. Yeah, I want to win, but more importantly, I want you to be a good man of integrity. And these guys seem to be buying in when you got 6 big time commits for the class of 2025. And this week is an exciting week. I mean, we started practice again yesterday. Is that right? Yeah. What's today? Yeah. Yesterday.
Yep.
So it was yesterday. So we got several people visiting University of Alabama this week. You got A.K. Deere, big time running back. You got David Sanders, the big offensive tackle. But here's where this is where I try to get you to go day before yesterday, talking about linebackers. When we were talking about the NFL draft, Alabama has got Ty Johnson, the big beast of a linebacker, coming in to visit this week. He'll be there. What's the date? Today's Thursday, so he'll be there tomorrow. No, Saturday. He'll be there Saturday visiting on campus. And then, guess what? Welcome back, Cotta. Welcome back. Our boy. Sorry about this, Iowa. Caden Proctor is coming back to Alabama. That's huge, right? He went home for a minute and realized, you can't go home again. You got to come back. And I saw where he tweeted yesterday. He said, I'm back. So that's huge. That's huge for Alabama. And I will tell you,
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
He went on spring break with some of his buddies from Alabama. Next thing you know, he's telling Iowa, see, I got this prepaid card from Coach Saban. And no, and that's huge, but I'm here
from Alabama.
Hey, I'm hearing rumors, and I don't know if they're true or not, that Caleb Downs may be transferring back from Ohio State. Have you heard anything about that?
I have not. There is a tweet out there, and that's what you're referring to. Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. You know me, Jerry. I deal in only factual information.
I don't. I like the rumors and the gossip.
You could take the Baptist boy out of the church, but you can't take the Baptist out of him. Is that what it is? I will tell you this though, and before we get to Auburn and some basketball stuff, I love the way the Iowa coach handled this. He said, we got word today that Proctor is going back to Alabama, and he at a press conference, right? And he said, we wish him all the best and hope this is the right move for him. He could have flipped out. He could have said some stuff, but that's not who those guys are up there. I mean, you gotta respect that. To me, you gotta respect that. So.
Well, he has to navigate it differently now because we're in this transfer era, the NIL era. So he wants to look like he's receptive and he's understanding, and he probably is, right? It's a good program.
In the background, isn't he?
He's like, so look, here's what I know about DeBoer. He's not trying to be Coach Saban.
Right.
He's trying to be himself. He's very, very good at what he does. He was very successful before Alabama called. Absolutely. He's very successful. It's why Alabama called.
He didn't need Alabama to be successful. He already was successful.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I think the dominance is probably going to continue somewhat. I think with the new NIL era, that opens up other teams to also be successful. Yeah. But I'm telling you, if Alabama can get Caleb Downs back, frick, best cornerback in the country.
You tell me they ain't trying?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
What do you say? If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Nate Oates. We'll just finish with the University of Alabama real quick.
Yeah.
All the way around. Nate Oates, the seemingly going to be a legendary basketball coach. I mean, the guy's a really good coach. He's a
legendary.
What's that now? Well, I mean,
legendary.
I said shaping up to be. I didn't say he is legendary. I said he's shaping up to be, and he can be. But he got extended through 2030.
Yeah, he got extended through. Who cares?
Yeah, he's such a jerk. Anyway, he got extended through 2030, 2029. I'm going to say 2030. If it's less than that, I apologize. But you made a statement. This was great. This was right before the SEC game that Alabama played, right before the Florida game. And they had announced that they'd extended him through, let's say 30. And you said, he better win this game. He lost. But then they extended the Florida guys right before that, right? A couple days before they extended the guy from Florida. So look, Alabama has done great. I mean, he's done great. 21-11 overall. I mean, let's face it. Alabama has not seen this type of season. And now they've played some great games, but I think in the past, but there's some consistency to Alabama, unlike that we haven't seen in a while. Again, I'm not saying we haven't blown games. I'm not saying we haven't got blown out of games. I'm just saying there seems to be some. What would the word be? Levity there. Nate brings some levity to the program. So I'm glad that we're seeing that. And then they've got a big deal. They've got a big task, and everybody is saying that Alabama's going to win this game coming into tomorrow. I think the game is at what time? 6:30, something like that tomorrow.
I don't know.
You don't know? They play the College of Charleston tomorrow.
Don't sleep on them.
Don't
Sleep on them.
Don't sleep on it. It's 6:35. It's 6:35 tomorrow, and it's going to be on True TV. I think is where it's going to be at. TBS True TV. I think Alabama, since they're playing the College at Charleston, will probably be True TV, right? Wouldn't you think so?
Probably.
But I will say this: Mark Sears, he was named to the Associated Press All-American second team. Should have been first team. Go.
He's good. I mean, the kid is lights out.
He's darn near scored 600 points this year.
Let's see what that ends up doing to the team.
Oh, see, why you always gotta be like that?
How about this? How about Michigan State is putting it on Mississippi State right now?
What's the score?
60-45. 7 minutes to go in the game.
Are you kidding me right now?
Nope. How's that for your bracket?
Shut your mouth right now when you're talking to me.
I apologize. Rude and sensitive.
Talk about your team.
Notre Dame didn't make it. Are you done with Alabama?
I'm done with Alabama.
But before I get off of Alabama, I want to just talk just a second about a running back commit, Anthony Rogers. I think he's an under the radar kind of talent. Okay. He's the running back committed to Alabama. He's been committed for quite some time, almost a year now. He's from Carver. The kid's good. So I think Brian Stanfield will probably appreciate that. Anthony Rogers, Carver Montgomery, 5'8", 185 running back. Kid's really, really good. So there. Take that.
You take that.
Hey, so let's talk about Auburn, right?
Yep.
Really no commits lately that I've seen since the big offensive tackle last week, which was a huge pickup. The kid's 6'4", going on 6'5", 300 pounds. He's from Langston Hughes. That's Fairburn, Georgia. Kid's a big kid. Tavarius Dice. So that's the latest pickup for Auburn, who's ranked number 7 in the composite and for the 25 class. 7 overall, 7 in the composite. And their headline is the big kid, the big defensive lineman, Autry. Almost 6'6", 320 is a defensive lineman. Good law.
Good goal.
Huge. But so before we talk Auburn basketball, let's talk about what's going on with Auburn spring football, right? Because that's really what folks want to be knowing about right now.
Yeah.
And what I'm telling you, I've said it since we started this show, Jeff. Cam Coleman is different.
You have.
Control. He's like Jamie Grant 2.0, right? He's his own Captain America, except with dancing ability. Jamie got that.
So you're saying
compared to Cam Coleman, Jamie can do nothing.
I think Jamie can dance. You don't take his bride all the places that Jamie's taken his bride and not be able to dance.
All he does is that one white dude move, and that's all he got to do, right? He just hey, that's all he got to do, right? And his wife, whatever. He blinds people with his teeth. That's what he does. You see what I did there?
Hard to do.
So Auburn struggled last year. This is going to hurt some Auburn people's fans, but not the real people. But they were 124th last year, Jeff, in passing. That can't happen, right? It can't happen. And with the new players in place, and you don't think about a freshman making that big an impact at the SEC level from the wide receiver position like that. But I like the fact. So we're halfway through spring ball, about halfway through the spring ball, and Cam Coleman is now taking snaps with the ones. That's impressive. He worked his way up. He wasn't given anything, right? He worked his way. He earned a couple touchdowns the other day. I think they got a scrimmage coming up Saturday. I'd like to see, but Cam Coleman is going to be incredibly important to the passing game. Equally as important, I think, is the transfer from Mississippi State that we talked about. Percy Lewis. Isn't it Percy Lewis? I think that's who it is. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. He was a big offensive lineman transferred in from Mississippi State. That's going to be equally as important to give Thorne time to actually run the offense and throw the ball. Look, I'm not a Thorne fan. I'm going to give him time to develop. He is Auburn, if you want it or not, he is your quarterback. Yeah. He's 100% going to be your quarterback. He's got over almost 700 passes in his career. The one thing the other three quarterbacks don't have is experience, right? He has experience, almost 700 passes so far. He's going to be your starting quarterback. I don't think there's anything that's going to happen other than an injury that would change that. So when you look at the other kids, you look at Holden, Brown, and Walker, I think one of those guys transfer out after the spring. And I think it's probably going to be, is it Greener? Holden Greener? I can't pronounce his name right.
Where would you
I think he's
fit?
Sir?
Where do you think he fits? It's for him to
I think he fits at a non-Power 5 program. I think it's where he goes and probably be very successful. But I think the future is Brown, and I think Walker White is the heir apparent. So the battle is going to be for those three, who's going to earn the number 2 spot, right? Because if you want to or not, Thorne is your quarterback.
Yeah.
So a play that I saw, this is how special Cam Coleman is. Running a post from the outside, slips, almost falls down, regains his balance, still outruns the safety, catches for a touchdown.
My shoe.
Cam Coleman is going to make such a deal. He's an NFL caliber player. He's got body size. He's got strength, natural ability. He's working. He's not what I would call a pure route runner, right? So he obviously has things to work on. He will get better at understanding how to run routes, how to be very physical with your hands. People don't really, if you know football and understand football, you understand how important being physical and violent with your hands for a wide receiver, being able to get off and do things. He's going to learn those things. Pure athletic ability, but more importantly, he's learning. Yeah. He's putting the work in, and he's got the want to be a Deebo Samuels. Favorite kind of player, bad example, but Debo's very physical. That's why I use Deebo. Yeah. Cam Coleman would not surprise me. In 3 years, he's a number 1 first round, not number 1 overall. Wide receivers don't go number 1 very rarely these days. He's going to be a top 15 pick, I think, in the NFL in 3 years. He has that kind of talent, that kind of ability, but you're not going to be successful with just Cam Coleman. You got to have other people in the passing game to step up. And that's why I like Fairweather, the big tight end. The dude is huge, right? He will go get those.
Yeah.
What is that?
I was looking at him. Yeah.
Yeah, Fairweather, his ability to clutch up, you either got the clutch gene or you don't. He goes up and makes the big contested 50-50 balls. Yeah. Look, Jeff, sometimes in life, you're an alpha. If you're an alpha dog, right? You don't tell people you're an alpha dog. You ain't got to.
Oh. Yeah.
So sometimes what you do is you go out there and you have to lift your leg, right? Sometimes you got to piss on the porch of wherever you're at. You got to piss on the kids' toys. This is my yard now. That's what Cam Coleman and that's what Fairweather are doing. They're taking over. But not to get, hey, can I say piss on the porch on the show?
Did
Whatever.
you out and
You
proud?
have to do that, but
Like our friend from the Bronx, New York, screaming at us. He just saying stuff, you know.
well, he don't want to get Mac Butler on him. I'm just
But here's
saying.
the thing. Here's my thing. I interrupt your flow, but if you want them to have a platform, sir, you give them a platform.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
So
going.
back to pissing on the porch.
That's good.
So it's the third playmaker. I think difference maker is Sam Jackson, the transfer from Cal for Auburn.
Okay.
He is flashing. He's got great speed. He's shown improvements from last year, also putting the work in. And Camden Brown practiced the other day, man, he went up and caught a 50-50 ball. I thought there's no way, nobody but Jesus himself is catching this ball. He went up and got it. Not over Jesus. Jesus just let him have it. And it was incredible. One thing I do like about what Thornton's doing so far is his check down and his progressions in this new RPO offense that Freeze is totally running now is
Yeah.
better than last year. So that's some hope for the Auburn fans out there who's interested in what's going on. Big scrimmage on Saturday. We'll talk about that next week. But I'm excited. I cannot stop saying Cam Coleman, but he can't do it, man. He can't do it without the offensive line, the other wide receivers, and I didn't even touch on the running game. I know this is a short show because you got to go watch your son play baseball today. So
Yeah, we playing.
just want to get that out there. Just want to get that out there.
So let me ask you this. I need to ask you this question because I've had somebody ask me, and I said, "Look,
Yeah.
I'm the Auburn guy. That's Jerry, but." When you talk, I'm on here on Auburn Wire and on Auburn Live, 24/7 Live, and I'm just looking at things. And let me just tell you something. When an Alabama guy, my wife graduated from Alabama. I love Alabama. I've raised on Alabama, right?
Yeah.
I'm Crimson. Go figure. When I purchase a subscription to Auburn 24/7, I'm sold to this show. And so talking about these guys, I'm in and I'm looking. But one of the question that was asked to me is, what about the defense for Auburn?
Okay.
Auburn is they're known right now, especially with you, offense, offense, offense. Let's get it, let's do it, let's get it. But they asked about the in-state linebacker Eric Winters, and he's decided he's going to go back and visit Auburn. And so this kid, I was looking up a little bit about him. He's going to go. He went. The Tigers offered him a scholarship on February the 16th. He visited on the 22nd, which would be, or visits on the 22nd, which would be tomorrow. He goes to tomorrow. So he's set to return or he's going to be at the Plains. They're in. I can't remember what that was. This kid. I was reading his stats. Where are his stats? I lost them here. I'm on 24/7, and this is a different deal. But he's a 4-star prospect. He made 54. He's out of Enterprise. That's the school that you love. I mean, that's a big school. 54 tackles, 2.0 tackles for a loss per game, 3 interceptions, forced fumbles, and caught a 70-yard touchdown pass as a receiver. He's the number 96 overall player and the number 11 linebacker by the 24/7 composite rankings. Now I know you like the composite rankings, right? I mean,
I love what it does. It just takes the main four and puts them together and gives a mixed average. But I know that is the linebacker that is the number one target for Auburn. But if you're looking at recruiting for the 25 class, Auburn's top 4 commits so far all on the defensive side of the football. So they're not overlooking it. They're not overlooking. You got the big defensive lineman I talked about earlier, 6'5", almost 6'6", 320 pounds out of Opelika, another big school. You got the edge rusher, about maybe 6'4" now from Highland Home.
yes.
The Falk kid, and I think we're going. end up also getting his teammate at Highland Home, C.J. May. He rushes from the other side. He was once committed to Notre Dame. He took an official visit somewhere else. Notre Dame said, we don't play that, so we're going to move on from you. So he's back open. And it makes sense that he goes with Caleb Falk, his playmate, to Auburn. Then you got the Cranford kid from Parker, another big defensive lineman, more of a run fit. He's almost 6'2", 300 pounds. He's more of the 2-3 technique defensive lineman. Then you got the cornerback out of Buford, Georgia, north of Atlanta, play a lot of great football. He's a 4-star, number 23 in the state, 17 in the position. So their top 4 players are from the defensive side of the football.
Well, you got the kid, the linebacker, that he looks like a freaking monster.
Yeah.
I mean, Auburn is doing work when it comes to recruiting. There is no question. And you said that when Hugh was hired, you said he's a recruiting phenom. The guy knows how to recruit. I mean, look at Liberty. I mean, you can't argue with what he built there. We know Mississippi, but we also know the debacle that happened there. But when he was given a chance at Liberty by the Falwell family and given the chance to build a program out there, he's built a legitimate program
Sure.
in Lynchburg. And now he's just replicating what he did there.
What he also did, Jeff, is he hired coaches who are amazing recruiters who work as hard as him.
Yeah.
You're talking about Derek Nix, 16 years there at Ole Miss. Man, he's got the state of Mississippi on lock. He knows every little school, every nook and cranny, every little barbecue shack on the road. He knows it, right? DJ Durkin is a phenomenal recruiter. He does it.
Jacks, didn't you?
That's what I had for lunch. Mine was at Pruitt's.
You didn't ride no motorcycle down there to the bar. Never mind.
I will.
But, I know you.
But only if Kelly's on the back.
I know that's right. Oh, I see.
Yeah. I see. Appreciate that. Thank you. So recruiting is what's going to set programs apart. And like the success that Notre Dame is having is because of the work ethic of their head coach, Marcus Freeman. He's a tireless recruiter. Hugh Freeze is known as a tireless recruiter.
Yeah.
And unlike Coach Prime in his a year and a half, however long he's been there now, has not made one in-house visit with a kid.
I don't get that. I don't understand. I know he's important. I know he's the man. But Prime, you got to go in these people's home, man. Get you some collard greens and some chicken and dumplings and some veg all casserole and all of these things.
Well, I think he will. I think he will make some in-home visits, but only with the single moms.
Wow.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
Golly. This is a sports show, so we're okay. We're okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about some basketball.
Wow.
I know we got to. Hey, but thank you again, Fully Loaded.
Oh my gosh.
Because that last comment was fully loaded.
Yes, it was. What was
Michigan State? Hey, Michigan State's leading 66-51 over Mississippi State. That's an 8-9 matchup. You expect it to be close. But what about Duquesne over BYU right now, 46-32?
I told you to watch this game.
After you saw the score, you did.
Right now is beating Creighton.
A lot of people picking the Blue Jays to go a long way in this tournament. Actually, look, here's how I know they're probably losing the first round, Jeff. I think Kevin Moore picked Creighton to win the whole tournament.
So here's what we got to do. If we're going to win money, Dave Portnoy money in Vegas, here's what we need to do. Kevin, give us your picks, and then go in and pick opposite.
That's a win. Guaranteed win.
Money.
Dollar bills.
See?
But I'm going to be fair with this one. Creighton's going to come back and beat Akron.
You think so?
I would wager money on it.
Want to?
Of course. Yeah.
I ain't got no money. I'm sorry. You didn't.
I was going to have to borrow it from you to wager it. But I think Creighton steps on them pretty good.
Oh man, we've got all kinds of stuff. If you just jumped on, go back and watch from the very beginning. We talked about all the Alabama recruits, and Jerry gave some great knowledge at the very beginning and throughout, but especially right there at the very beginning, there was some tight knowledge about Auburn football recruits. Hey, Auburn squares up against who basketball wise tomorrow?
Man, in this particular game matchup, I want to set the stage if I can. They're going to be playing a team from Yale. I know you don't hear Auburn and Yale in the same sentence very often, right? You don't want to get in a chess match.
Man, that's great. Yeah.
You don't want to get in a chess match with Yale. Um, Different style of play, but I think Auburn's a 12 and a half, 13-point favorite in this game, and I don't think it's that close. I
Okay.
think they're intense. They're ready to go at it. They're on a nice run, a 5-game win streak themselves, Auburn is. So that bracket, man, that East, first of all, Auburn should have been at least a 3 seed. No reasonable
That's,
person can think otherwise.
that's factual. I mean, look what they did.
They got
They won
hosts.
the SEC tournament. You don't come out of there and being a 4 seed. I'm an Alabama guy. Alabama's a 4 seed. There's no way they shouldn't have been at least a 3 seed. No way.
I agree.
No way.
And you look at the bracket they got put in. I think that, and I think the East is the toughest bracket.
Yes.
My opinion. You got UConn.
Mine too.
God, they're so they defending national champions, and their coach is a Duke guy. Got that going for him. Iowa State playing some of the best basketball in the country as your 2 seed. Illinois can beat anybody. Auburn's the 4. So Auburn obviously is in the same top of the bracket with UConn.
Yep.
Crazy.
Hey,
give us your Final Four.
I don't get it. So let me get my phone real quick. I'm going to go in. I want to not show you. Hold on a minute. What did I just do? All right.
You always show me something. Hey, Michigan State beat Mississippi State. It's over.
Michigan State beat Mississippi State.
Some may say the SEC is trash in the tournament.
Jerry,
I didn't say that.
you want to say that?
Creighton is up on Akron now, 39-34.
There we go. I don't know if I've ever met a person that gloats or that can gloat like you do. You don't walk around going, "Oh, look at me." You do it in such a subtle way that makes people walk away going, "Did he just? But did he just?" That's what happens.
It's the Joe Taylor effect.
Yeah. So how do I see hit my brackets?
I don't know.
I'm trying to tell you, Sean. So what'd you ask me just a minute ago?
Give me your Final Four, and when do you think Bama gets eliminated, if at all?
Okay, don't be a jerk. Okay.
I said if at all. I'll give you an out.
No, I've got Alabama being losing, and I'm an Alabama guy. Let me go in here. Hold on. All right. So you've got Alabama. All right. So I've got Alabama. How do you look at this stupid thing? The one thing about the ESPN bracket is easy to pick, right?
I'll let you know after the tournament if it was easy to pick.
No. I mean, it's easy to. I've got Alabama locked in over SMC, and then they hold on.
Yeah, they played the winner of St. Mary's Grand Canyon.
Yeah. I've got them over them winning.
So you got them losing to North Carolina.
Yes, they lose to North Carolina. That's exactly right.
Sweet 16.
Yeah, they're out at that point. They do make it, but they just lose to Carolina. So my Final Four, let me get to it. God, this is so difficult. So here's what I did when I went back. You said I could go in and do another bracket, right?
Yeah.
So you want to do it. So I've got UConn and Purdue playing for
you changed that big time. Okay.
the championship. Yeah, I did. But I've got Purdue and Kentucky, okay? and Purdue coming
That's
out on.
out of, so you got Kentucky out of the South and Purdue out of the Midwest.
And then yes. And then out of the East and the West, I've got Connecticut, UConn, and UNC. And then I've got Connecticut and Purdue in the championship game, and Purdue's coming out as my winner, as you guys can see right there. Purdue is my champion.
Yeah.
Purdue, and you don't have to be Isaac Haas. I'm all in on Purdue. So even though I've only watched 3 games of theirs this year, so that's all I've seen.
That's fair.
They do have why is it Purdue always has a dominant big guy? Oh,
because they recruit them big cornbread fed fellas.
Brother, I'm telling you, it seems like the last 10, 15 years, Purdue's had a 7-footer every single year, and they're down low. They just are.
Interesting.
So what's let's go. Go through your bracket real quick. Top Final Four, and then the championship.
All right, Final Four. I have out of the. I'll start with the East. Out of the East, I have Auburn. I think it's a epic matchup. Them and UConn in the Sweet 16, and I think Auburn's defense finds a way to get that done. Although Iowa State could cause some trouble down there, I still have Auburn coming out of the East, out of the West. I shocked the world, and I went Baylor.
Yeah. Wow.
Out of the West, out of the South.
Right. The one that you're really going with.
Huh?
Your second bracket, like me, that's the one you're really going with. You got Baylor.
This is the same one I went this morning.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, nothing changed. And I'm going to say this, Duke better watch out in the first round against Vermont.
Really?
And I also will say this, I think James Madison beats Wisconsin in the first round.
That could very well happen.
Huge upset. That's a 12-5, but I think Wisconsin's coming off a huge high from beating Purdue. Yeah. So I think that's neither here nor there. But I got James Madison as an upset team. So I went chalk, and I went Houston. I got Houston coming out of the South. Big time hesitation for me out of the Midwest. In the Elite Eight, I got Purdue and Tennessee going to war. I really want to change this, but I'm going to stick with who I did this morning. I have Purdue over Tennessee to earn their spot in the Final Four. So
that's good. That's good. I have Tennessee going a long way, by the way.
Houston, Purdue, Auburn, and Baylor. And for the national championship, I have Auburn and Purdue. Okay. And I have Auburn winning.
Show me.
But that sound was my bracket exploding.
Matthew Cherry just said his bracket has been busted. Is busted. He said his Final Four is UConn, North Carolina, Houston, and Purdue.
How's his bracket busted? Ain't nobody won.
He lost this game right here. I'm sure this one right here. This okay. With UConn versus Houston in the final, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, there's some.
Gonna be great.
We're finna get out of here, but there's some great basketball to be played over the next many days. I can't wait to watch tomorrow. I mean, we got some good games today, but tomorrow I'm so excited. There's that baby. Look what she's doing.
She's minding my business.
You always say you're not a cat person. That cat.
I'm not.
Kelly told us. She said that's Jerry's cat.
What was she? Never mind. She's right. Hey, thank you to our sponsor, Fully Loaded. As Jeff Fate drinks some coffee. War Eagle fly down the field.
Flop.
Rick Neal. Suzanne Weatherwax. Yeah. Woo.
Now.